You know, they can always talk a good game, but I don't, never see them really get into it. I was talking with my wife. I believe it's this morning about passion. You saw that movie, The Passion of Christ. Okay, that was a good, title for that movie, because it passion connotates force, energy. It's something to be reckoned with. It's something that is tangible, even though it's invisible, but it's tangible. But I say it's really not invisible, because the symptoms of passion is you following after whatever you're passionate about. You pursuing. Passion pursues. All right. And I started thinking about faith and Jesus' teaching of it and operation of it, and most of our outlook of it. Okay, we observe. Our faith is, and I ain't gonna say mine, but when I'm using "our" just to make y'all think I'm included in that, but I take myself out of that. I'm not no looky loo. I jumped right in. All right, but faith for most people is almost like a dream. Well, one day I'll move that mountain. One day that'll happen. I believe one day, but I remember the scripture, and people say we don't really quote it right when we say it like Paul wrote it or King James wrote it. But now faith is the substance of things hoped for. I put that now with it. I believe that now goes with it. Whether Paul meant to put it with it or not, that way, or there was a parenthesis there, Paul's mindset was now. I operate in the now. And the only way to operate in now faith, yo, with me here, is to do it now. Is to jump into it now. Is to move now. I think about Abraham. He was called, he left. That, he didn't sit there and say, okay, well, I think God said it. I believe he said it. Okay, I'll do it one day, Lord. No, God called him and said, go. And I'm not telling you where you're going. Go. And he went. You understand? Now faith. So when you truly are operating in the type of faith that Jesus was teaching about, we're about to break down what he was teaching. You're going to see passion. You're going to see movement. You're going to see energy. You're going to see something is going to happen, because there's no time that you can put faith out there that you're not going to literally in the spirit realm see a cataclysmic occurrence. God spoke, and he spoke by faith. All right? Because what was spoken was not yet. Do you see what I'm saying? So we know he spoke by faith, because once he spoke, it came. Do you see what I'm saying? So we know that was genuine. We know what he was saying was genuine. You ever people, talk with people that just talk. And, I got a low tolerance for folks like that. Always talking. Yeah, I'm gonna buy these houses. I'm gonna flip them. I'm gonna do it, and just always talking. I ain't never seen them do nothing. I respect somebody who have failed 100 times trying to do something. I call him a friend. He's a son in the gospel. He lives in Pennsylvania there, and he ever since I met him, he got so many dreams, so many things. He's always, but I always see him do it. He be online. He might go one thing to the next, but he don't just talk, and he got my respect for that. Sometimes I want to be like him sometimes, in some areas, because he always, hey, Pastor, I got another idea. He's thinking about this, and he don't just be thinking. One time, and I felt it was before the time, he wrote a book. He had just got married, and he wrote a book. And I'm like, about teaching somebody about getting married. And I'm like, this brother just got married, to try to teach somebody. And I felt like he should have waited a while, go through some things with him. But nope, he write his book, But I admire him for it. Faith is passionate. Faith moves. Faith moves mountains. Now, you want to interject because I'm about to break down, what Jesus was talking about here. All right? No? Oh, you just want to sit and look pretty today, huh? That's it? All right, that's good enough, baby. Draw them in. And I'll preach to them, okay? They pray about mountains, most Christians. They cry over mountains. They complain about mountains. But Jesus said something entirely different. You can say to this mountain. He didn't say admire it, analyze it, or complain about it, which is what we do. Oh, it's so big. It's so awesome. I don't know if I can do it. That's what we do. But you know what I found out, people? Faith has a voice. It literally has a voice. Somebody asked me, did you ever hear God? Because I'll be telling them God said and God said this, right? They said, have you ever audibly heard God? Did you know his voice? And I told him, I said, one time in my life, I audibly heard him call my name. And I was in the worst situation that I've ever been in my life, and God called me. And I guess he got me. He allowed me to go into that worst situation so he could speak to me. But I needed to be speak to audibly. But he doesn't speak audibly to our natural ears most of the time. He did it for Moses at the burning bush, and you can a couple more examples, through the Bible, but that's not his usual flow. That's why I was on it when I did hear him audibly, because that let me know that it was bona fide that I was called, for me, right? And I needed it because I got a lot of stuff with me, all right? But faith has a voice, and you know how we know? The Bible said God spoke before the world came into being. So, what you think it wasn't literal? It wasn't talking literally. He spoke. The earth heard him. Faith is heard. It is recognized. Everything in this world recognizes faith, people. This is what Jesus was getting at. Everything in this world recognizes faith. You want to know why? Because faith is the substratum of everything in this world. Faith is the Band-Aid. Faith glues everything together. Everything was founded upon faith. The word of God. Do you understand? Everything was founded upon it. So it has a voice. And it has a voice that must be heard and must be obeyed. Did you hear that? It must be. But here's the thing. If we're not seeing results, if we're not seeing, manifestation, then we must not be speaking faith. Do you get that? I want that to. Okay, so Jesus said the mountain. Okay, the mountain that he talked about. He says, "Say to this mountain, be thou removed and be cast into the sea." Right? The mountain isn't removed because you acknowledge it. It is confronted because you speak from a place of faith. It moves because you speak from the place of faith. Do you see what I'm saying? So if the mountain is not moving, where are you speaking from? What's your stance? Who have you locked your faith in? Because it's not genuine faith unless it's God. Do you understand? Unless it's belief in God, the Father, through Jesus Christ. It's not genuine. Everything else, see, and I wouldn't throw that out there though. Faith in stuff that's not even genuine does something. So that shows you how powerful faith is. But genuine faith does what it's supposed to do. Do you get what I'm saying? Genuine faith. And genuine faith only can come from God or through God or on God. You understand? It has to come that way. Just like truth. You got truth, but then you got truth. Now, truth could be the doctor say you're going to die. The facts are there. But the real truth is, what did God say about that? If he said you're going to live, then what the doctor said, truth, facts, has become secondary and does not even matter anymore because the truth has actually walked in. Do you understand what I'm saying? And when truth walks in, it annihilates everything that's not pure like truth is. So faith in God is pure. It's at its concentrated level. Most of us are operating in diluted faith. We're operating partial, so we're seeing some things. We're shaking things up, but we're not moving it. I don't want to shake my mountain. I needed to get out my way. Devil, you a liar. You got to go. Get behind me. Come on. I got to play with this mess. This ain't play time. It's time that I move mountains. It's time that stuff get out because I got someplace to go. I got destiny, to meet. I got expectation of God to walk in. Come on, jump on in, baby. Come on, jump on in. Jump on in.
We got to have that mountain moving faith. But how do you get that, though? That's, a question in my mind. So obviously, it's that word. It's the process, right? So you have to actually start, getting in the word, getting around people that are of the word, watching things. I remember, I don't know why this happens a lot to me often in the past, though. Anytime my husband would be away from home, major stuff happened. Car blowout, car breakdown. So I remember at one point, the electrical system on my BMW went out. It was done, and anybody would know thousands of dollars for that. So he was not home. He was out of state, and I had a job. I had a kid. I had to go to work every day, and I was in Arizona, and it was the summertime, so it was over 100 degrees. So being on the bus and that type of stuff for New Yorkers wasn't an option there. So I had to fix my car. I was like, I don't know what to do, but YouTube. So I got on YouTube, put in all the information. They told me what to do. You had to pull out this panel, sit it out in the sun, let it dry, and then put it back in, and it worked. So, it's that process of knowing that, oh my goodness, I just fixed a major problem in a car. So that gave me some faith to know that if something happened the next time, and guess what? A next time did come where I had to do the same thing with an appliance at my house. So what I'm saying, it's a process. You have to get started somewhere, do something. Don't just sit. Think of the story of the lepers. You gotta think of something. If you have a situation, are you gonna allow somebody are you gonna lay down and let somebody step over you, run over you, or are you gonna get up and move and do something? And it begins that process. So we just gotta have that mountain moving type of faith.
All right. Jesus said, if you have faith as a grain of a mustard seed, all right? A lot of people misunderstand that because they say, well, all I need is a little bit of faith, and they think that Jesus was talking about the size of faith that's needed when he wasn't talking about the size of the faith. He actually was talking about the mustard seed. You got to actually study the mustard seed to really, delve into what was Jesus really saying, even though we know it's one of the smallest seeds, but it's not the smallest seed. So Jesus couldn't have been, why would he pick a mustard seed when it's not the smallest seed, it's a small seed, all right? He picked it because of the quality and the potential of a mustard seed. I want you to get that, all right? A mustard seed grows into a tree. It has everything in it, right? A mustard seed will take over a whole field. Do you understand what I'm saying? A mustard seed. What a mustard seed will do when it's put in its proper place. Remember earlier I talked about faith has to be in its proper place, proper stance, proper position. All right. With God, locked into God. All right. Well, that's the mustard seed. When the mustard seed is placed in its proper place, when it's buried, nurtured like it's supposed to, it will become the biggest plant in your garden or wherever you plant it, in the forest, wherever you plant it, and it can grow through most things. Do you understand? That mustard seed, it won't get eaten up by birds because it's so small. You understand? You can go on and on. What was Jesus saying? He was saying not the size of your faith, but the quality of your faith, the purity, which means that the faith has to be through God. The weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but they're mighty through God, through the pulling down of strongholds. So when I'm operating in my faith, I'm not, oh, I'm going to speak it. I got dominion and I'm all by myself and I'm doing this. No, it's not just me, myself, and I know I'm made in the image of God and he's given me the ability, but I can't never separate myself from him because the vine is connected to the tree. You understand? The branches are connected to the tree. And when they get disconnected, they die. So I must abide in him. My faith must abide in him in order for me to have the power, the flow, the manifestation. And most of our faith is not abiding in him. You don't want to know why? Because as soon as the devil brings fear, as soon as he brings doubt, as soon as he brings all this stuff, we ready to just give it up. This don't work. That's just like with giving. The Bible said, give and it shall be given unto you. Most Christians are tithing. That was under the law. They come up with everything not to give, and which is why they're showing they really don't believe what God says. I believe it, like my wife was talking about the process, because I was a faithful tithe payer, more than most as a young man, and I watched God bless me beyond my peers. I'm doing better than most of my peers. And some of them went on to become lawyers and doctors. And I didn't. No, I just walked by faith. Me and my wife were talking about that this morning. You know, she talked about a pension and, you know, and all this. And somebody the other day told me how much they get in their pension and everything else. And I said, wow, I'm doing better than folks that got pensions, you know. You know, and then my wife was like, well, how did you come from that? You saw that. And she's right. I saw people who did not have pensions or even work conventional jobs, and they just was blessed and they became wealthy, and the key was they operated on faith. Even if they didn't know they was operating on faith, because you got to operate on faith when you don't have something consistently that you can see come in every day. That's hard. But it's only hard when you're not a person of faith. You got to start out with the little stuff. I took God at his word. He said, you know, if I do what I'm supposed to do, first fruit, tithe, do this, I'm supposed to get abundantly, shaking, running over. And he said to give you a house you didn't build. Is why God blessed me with not just a house that I did not build or pay for, you know, and I look at that and I say, yeah, God's real. His word is real. And we see results on some things because we are obedient in some things. But then other things we choose not to. And then we got to work that much harder. Somebody told me I got tree jobs. You know, there's a West End person and they was talking to me. So they said, instead of three, they said tree jobs. You know, I mean, work hard, right? And they thought that was impressing me. And I looked at them like, that's not impressing me. 3 jobs? That's hard work. That's taking up all my time. I ain't got no time to do nothing else. That you know, my blood pressure gonna be high. This gonna be high. When you got time for anything, and then you die. That's the funny part. You work all them jobs, and then you finally got enough money to maybe buy the house that you say you're gonna buy. That's why you're working so hard for it. I'm like, Lord, you got to buy the house for me. You got to, you know, I'd rather work God's plan. I'd rather walk by faith. People think that's harder to walk by faith than, you know, to stay on a regiment and know, you know, where this is coming from, that. Goes, no. It's easier to walk by faith for me. You know, I'm lazy. You know, people think that I'm a hard worker. They see me. Somebody asked me, I think it was yesterday, could I come and do some work at their house or something, right? And I said no, because they know I'm good at certain things, right? And I was like, no, I don't do this for myself. You know what I'm saying? Only for myself. And then they said, well, didn't you do such and such for your daughter? I said, yeah. And she paid me lovely for it. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. I had to get paid, where it meant something. I said, because I don't do labor. When I do it for myself, it's enjoyment. It's not labor. Do you see what I'm saying? When I do it for somebody else, that's labor. So my point that I'm trying to make is this, people. It is actually easier to walk by faith, to get your stuff by faith, but we won't do it. We'd rather listen to the devil and let him fill us up. Do you not know in the garden, Adam was given a job, but it was never by the sweat of his brow. Yeah, he was to govern the garden, but all Adam had to do was speak, and everything was going to flow. God was telling Adam, you're the manager of this garden, and I want you to manage it like I do. And God spoke, and that's all Adam had to do until he sinned. And then what was the curse that was put on Adam after he sinned, right? You now got to till this ground, produce from this ground by the sweat of your brow. So sweat of my brow is part of the curse, but Jesus redeemed me. I'm no longer under a curse. So then my stuff should be coming easier as I come into the awareness of who I am and what Jesus did in my life. Are you feeling me here? I need y'all to get me. All right? I'm aware now. So really, I'm not lazy. I'm doing things the way God said to do it. You understand? I was telling my wife about a preacher I know, I got some respect for him in some areas because he kind of thinks like me a little bit, and the point of the fact is you ain't gonna get that brother to do no hard work at all. But he's being blessed, right? But he's being blessed because he's actually putting his faith in motion. He's saying, he's putting a voice out there. He's letting the universe hear the God in him. All right? I see I done ran out of time. We picking this up next week, people, because I got so much to delve into it. I hate that I get up on these tangents and I don't get my stuff out. All right? But that mustard seed, just to end it, it was alive, it was genuine, it was full of potential, and it was designed to grow. That's what God was saying, all right, about your faith. All right, but we got to close it. The authenticity. Take that key home with you. Your faith must be authentic. Stop operating on this fake stuff, on this stuff that man telling you to do. All this. Well, I'm going to do like the Joshua, the Jericho walls. I'm going to walk around 7 times. Listen, that was for them, for that individual thing, right? But if you are actually operating in faith, you're going to hear God's voice. And for you, God might say for you to do this: hop, skip, walk, jump. You don't know what he's going to say for you. And then you keep operating off what you see other people do. Stop that mess. This is some of the stuff I needed to bring out, but stop that mess. Stop imitating. You understand? Well, if I preach like Noel Jones, and I moan like this one, and I'll have a big church, and it ain't working for you, is it? Stop. Do it the way God says, and faith will have you right there at the mouth of God, hearing just what he say, and then just put it into play. Speak it, say it, voice it, yell it, scream it. I got so many people mad at me, especially about this situation that I've been fighting in the courts and everything, and they looking for me to fail. And I told them it was never going to fail from the beginning. I had already saw it, because faith speaks before it's manifested and it's even seen. Faith speaks before it's seen because faith heard. Oh, y'all got to get that. All right. I'm closing. I'll be all night with this, y'all. All right. God bless y'all. If you do not know the Lord and the pardon of your sins, the Bible said the word is nigh thee, even in your mouth, that if you confess Jesus, believe in your heart that he died for your sins and rose again for your justification, you are saved. Receive your salvation and ride on King Jesus. No man cannot hinder me. All right, God bless y'all. Listen, Thursdays, Thriving Thursdays, 106-31 Suffolk Boulevard. We're there, over there. That old used to be South Road, used to be called South Road, right there on the corner. All right, a lot of activity over there, y'all know. A lot of activity. Prime for ministry. But we are teaching on relationships. You know, the wife and I feel like we're qualified. We done been through the storms and the rain. All right, and we done been through so many scenarios that we probably done touched on your scenario. So you'll come on down that are around and close enough to come. And we do counseling. We'll talk about your stuff. We'll help to get it, whatever the Lord gives us to help you get through it and break through, to strengthen that family, strengthen that marriage, strengthen that relationships. Folks get married, and the Bible says he that finds a wife, which means that she already has to be a wife, before you find her. And so you need that defined to you. You need that taught to you. You need that broken down to you, because you might not know. So come on down. 106-31 Suffolk Boulevard, 7 to 8:30 p.m. on Thursdays. Thriving Thursdays. All right, God bless y'all, and y'all have a good day.